All right, so now I'm going to pick up an extension of my body. This is also known as a carriage whip, though I certainly don't like the term whip, and that's absolutely not what I'm going to be doing with it. She is, oh my goodness. I do believe she knows what's up. I do believe she knows. All right, so just going to kind of amble around and see where she wants to be in this space. She's kind of walked off to the other side of her space here, but I think she's going to want to be where we have been. She's making her way back over. Nice. Nice. Now I want for her to be able to see me and this now extension of me as one thing, as if this stick just grows out of my body. So I'm not using it in any way, I'm just holding it as if it's a part of me. And I'm just going to engage with her in the same way I have been before. So when she walks away like that and needs to leave, I'm going to give her extra space to do that. A dear friend of mine says that horse training should look like watching paint dry. Jan Lightshoe. She is an amazing soul, still training horses now in her 8th decade of life, as she calls it. And she actually, she used to study under Tom Dorrance years ago. Like, didn't just read his book, like actually studied with him. He was one of her direct mentors, and she has such amazing intuition and so many little tidbits. Of course, I'm sure many of us have heard that watching paint dry comment. It's become quite common, but to actually do it, like to actually go slow enough that it looks like watching paint dry. Like, can we really practice that? Breaking things down into those tiny steps. So I'm just walking back and forth here, kind of making a arc where I'm remaining the same distance from her body as I walk back and forth. And I'm just observing how she feels about that. I'm absolutely not going to approach her any closer when she is pointed away from me as she is right now. Now, if she was afraid, if she was nervous in her body, if she needed me to guide her to help support her emotionally, then that might feel different. But she's fine. She is totally fine. She does not need me to direct her at all for her to feel more comfortable. So because of that, I have the freedom to do even less doing. Okay, so this is a good example of now she's licking and chewing. So, you know, the horse licks and chews as they are coming out of some level of pressure, even a small teeny bit. And so it might have looked like she was entirely okay as I was walking back and forth, and she was totally fine. But there was certainly a level of pressure she was feeling. She says yes, there was a level of pressure she was feeling internally, and it's important to honor that. So had I gone in when her body was pointing towards that rail and started asking her to move, I would have been adding pressure that she didn't yet really understand how to navigate. I would have been adding pressure to a body that was already feeling a level of pressure. And I don't want to do that. If I can help it. In this present moment, I don't need to do that. Put it that way. What a good girl. Nice. So that acknowledgement, I'm going to step away a little. Oh, I love that she touched her knee. Oh, I find so often horses will touch their heart meridian, runs along the inside of the leg and then the outside, and it passes on the inside of the knee. Actually, there's a really powerful point. It's the heart point 7, also called Spirit's Gate. Garden, you're all right. You're all right. And that is at that point on the inside of the knee. I absolutely love that she's completely at ease with the guardian dogs and their need to guard the sanctuary a little extra in this moment. They're not always barking so persistently and hovering underneath me quite so much, but they know that there's stuff going on the outside of the sanctuary right now and has them on guard. And the fact that they are existing in that quality of energy and she is able to exist in her own quality of peaceful energy is so important. So you can see I'm still just making this arc. Same distance from her body. And again, none of this is really intended to be a step-by-step how-to gentle a wild horse. I've had some that really needed me to be on the other side of the fence for a very long time. Some that I used almost purely positive reinforcement in the beginning because they had so much aggression, so much fear that was, aggression is everything. Aggression is fear-based, but there's just been a lot. They're so different. So different. There's a lot of different ways that, at least from what I can see now, this incredible horse could be gentled a lot of different ways, and she would probably excel in with a lot of different styles. Even a style that maybe was more moved a lot faster than what I appear to be doing. I feel like every horse and every human creates a unique living entity in the place where they meet. So this particular being matched and merged with a different human being would be a different entity. And I think it would be pretty beautiful. I think she would be beautiful with just about anyone. I'm going to step away here. She turned away. I'm going to really give her a lot of space and let her know that I saw that. I see you. Right? So I'm going to go all the way to the other side of the space here. What a good girl. Yeah. An amazing girl. You are. And I'm going to wait until she doesn't feel the need to look at me. Right now, both ears are on me. I'm not going to do anything while she feels the need to watch me like that. Just going to wait. I'm going to let her watch me. Ah, nice. Then I'm going to walk. Might be the opposite of what we might sometimes think with what some of us have learned in round pen reasoning. I think all the methods really come from a place of intuition, but I think it's easy for a technique that was born of intuition to become mechanical. And if we weren't the one that created the technique, then it's easy to fall kind of blind into these mechanical steps, and that maybe that technique was never meant to be. I think the join-up method in the round pen reasoning can sometimes be that way. Nice. I'm going to give her space. Oh, lick and chew, and she's able to scratch. So amazing. So amazing. Really give her space to do that. Nice. I think she would like to scratch on the panel. Okay, so that's kind of my cue that I can ask for a little more. Well, except now she's gonna, if she's gonna do that, I'm gonna follow that path. All right, now I'm actually, for the first time, I'm gonna ask for just a little bit of movement. So right here, see how she doesn't really recognize that that means anything? So she saw that, she said that meant something. Nice, good girl. So all I'm looking for is for her to be comfortable feeling me make a request of energy flow through her body. I don't really care where she goes with it. It's just, can I ask those roots to come up out of the ground? And I want her to be comfortable knowing that when I ask those roots to come up, that she can feel safe in that she doesn't need to feel afraid of the pressure involved in that, because there is pressure. There is pressure in any ask. Any time I place my intention for something to happen, there's pressure. And there's certainly pressure when, you know, I take my extension of my body and I'm, you know, asking for energy to move. So, it's really important to me that she can feel that pressure and that it can move through her body and that she can then come back down to a place of softness and relaxation. So nice. So I'm going to do the same thing again, and I don't want, so now actually, I'm going to kind of go back because I don't want her to think that me just approaching her means that. So I want to go back to that place where I could kind of, so right there's an I see you moment. So I needed to step away to let her know that I saw her. And you can actually see how she's a little more, you know, those ears are turned back. There's a little more of a holding in her body right now that wasn't there before. She's not trying to rub her face on the panel anymore. She's not, and she would like to rub her face on the panel. She has let us know that she would like to rub her face on the panel. Now comes the lick and chew, right? So it's good that she's letting that go. It's also important to recognize she had something to let go of, right? So that's really, really important. So now I'm going to go back to seeing if I can just walk that arc and just help her become comfortable again with that arc, because I don't want her to think that every time that I ask her, that I approach her, that I'm going to be asking her to move. So I'm going to just find a spot that is before I feel like she becomes uncomfortable in any way, and I'm going to walk that arc again. Staying the same distance from her body. If she needs to look at me, I'm going to just give her a little bit of space. The fact that she needed to look shows me that she was a little bit concerned. And so I just want to give her a little bit of space to be able to soften into that place again. This is the beginnings of flexing that muscle of being able to take on pressure in our bodies and then set it free. And that is one of the most important and valuable tools that we all benefit from and need to learn as humans, as any kind of being. And I do find that these first interactions with a new wild Mustang, even one that is as grounded in their own body as she is, it really creates, it's like what happens to you as a baby, you know? It's like what happens, Garden, we're all right. You're doing a good job, but we are just fine. It's like what happens when you're an infant and you don't even remember, perhaps, the experiences that you had. You don't remember if you cried all night and nobody came, or if you cried and somebody picked you up. You know, you don't remember those things consciously, but yet they become this roadmap. Garden, it's all right. They become this roadmap that you then travel on as a growing child, as a young adult, perhaps as an aging adult even, until we start to, nice, see right there? She needed me to step away. Well done. Well done. So It's just every interaction with a horse is so important, but these initial interactions are just everything. Garden, it's okay. It's okay. You're okay. Yeah. Garden traveled with me all the way across the country to Colorado to pick up this amazing being. We had her shipped by a private hauler from Idaho to my dear friend's place in Colorado, Stephanie Lindsley, who is excellent wild horse trainer. I'm going to step away and give her space here. So now you can see we're kind of working our way back to where she was before. The same kind, the horse that we saw a little while ago when she was rubbing her fence on the panel, we're finding that horse again. And that's really important. I want to find that horse again before I add that energy again of asking her to move her body. Because as you could see, when I first asked her to move her body, she moved her body and her whole body took on a level of tension, which is fine. That's going to happen. That's not wrong. It's not that I don't want her body to take on a level of tension. It's that I want her to be able to let that tension go, right? It's about flexing the muscle and then releasing that flex. It's about not living in any one place, including this place. We're not going to live here in this place of really super calm, you know, in the sunshine, sunbathing quality of relaxation. We don't live there either. It's an amazing place to be, but we don't live in any one place. We live all the places. So it's about being able to move in between. That's the dance. No one thing is wrong. It's just being able to flow. Nice. So right there, I'm going to give her some space. Let her orient herself again. I wonder if she's going to think about rubbing her face on that panel again. She is going to be so excited when I can scratch that face for her, and I'm going to be so excited to do so. All right, I'm going to kind of walk around to the other side, see if I can get in a good position to ask her for a little bit of that forward movement again. I want to make sure there's no concern in her body first, because I don't want me, myself, is not the cue. The intention is the cue. Good. So all I'm wanting is just a little bit, basically like I want it to feel like her roots came up out of her body. What's naturally going to start happening is what happened there. The roots come up, and if I draw away, that energy naturally flows towards me. I wasn't asking for that. My drawing away was a saying yes to the roots coming up. But because she is so soft, and notice how much softer she is now when she felt that increase in pressure that asked her roots to come up. The first time it worried her a bit. This time it didn't worry her nearly as much. Actually, she followed it kind of like a river and came in towards me. And now she's going to lick and chew. Again, right, shows us that one, she's relaxing, which is wonderful. Two, she had something to relax from. So there was a little bit of a fist she needed to set free. And she just did that, and a little more so. A little more so. Those deep sighs take it even to another level. And if you get a raspberry, even better. Yeah. Beautiful. If she can continue to release like this while I'm facing her chest to chest, then that's wonderful, because there is some pressure involved here versus if I was like this, you know. This is less pressure. So just amazing. Just amazing. So she looked away a bit. Wonderful. I'm going to step away, ease myself back around. I'm going to make sure that my physical body moving around isn't what's cueing her to move her physical body. See if I can reorient our camera here. Nice. I'm going to walk a little bit to the spot. I want to ask her to move away when I get to here, but I'm not actually going to ask because I don't want her to be moving away from me walking towards her. I only want her to move away when I actually ask for that. So the next time, if I get that same response from her, then I'm going to ask. Wow. That's pretty cool. Now that was a totally different shift. And now look how quickly, if you go back 3 times, right? There was the first time I asked for movement, and you could see it kind of scared her. That her whole body became a bit of a fist. The second time I asked for movement, she was soft and she followed that energy around to me. The third time I asked for movement, it's almost become such a no big deal that she gave me a little bit of movement and she went right back down to a place of being really settled. That's amazing. So because I got that, because this is where we are now, I'm going to ask again, okay? I wouldn't have asked again if she was still at a place of a fist. Nice. But I am going to create movement in my body first without asking, because again, I don't want the movement in my body to be the thing that means something independently. It's my intention. This stick itself doesn't mean anything. It's my intention with it, right? So the stick doesn't, see how she's even kind of coming towards, the stick doesn't mean anything. It's my intention. Now that she's turned a little bit here, though, I'm not going to go directly towards her when she's facing me like that. Because that's more what I consider catching the thought. It's more like the quality of asking her to back up, if you think about it that way. And that is harder to do than go forward. So I'm going to focus on when I ask these roots to come up, I'm always going to just be asking them to go forward right now. And again, I don't really care where they go, but I'm gonna be in a position where it's easier for her to go forward than to back. So I'm gonna ask here. She's looking like, what? Hold same, and then as soon as I get something, as soon as those roots come up, I'm gonna step away. So it's really important when that was beautiful. That was beautiful. It's really important that when I'm in these preliminary stages of her first learning things, that I don't escalate my ask. I just remain the same. And as long as she is looking, then I wait. And she was definitely looking. She was literally looking. She was turning and literally looking at me. And that showed me that she was looking to try to figure out what was the thing I was after. Really well done. So I'm going to go back to walking that arc around her. Same distance from her. Make sure that her body doesn't feel concerned about my body. Like this. Just walking around. So nice. Let my stick kind of be a part of me. I'm not being even super careful about how I'm holding it. I'm letting it kind of be different things because, you know, my arms may swing. I want her to recognize, see that ear on me? That was what she's aware. So nice. All right, so I feel like from here I can ask for a little what I kind of consider direction of thought. So I feel like there's 3 different paths our thoughts can flow on. We have moving thoughts, which is kind of like putting the gas pedal on, and that's what I've been doing thus far. It's more where I would be behind the horse, adding energy more behind the drive line, even back behind their tail, in a little more in one eye or the other, but I'm really just asking for a little bit of gas pedal. Roots come up out of the ground, don't really care where they go. but I'm saying yes to those roots coming up out of the ground and some energy going somewhere. To me, that is it's like the gas pedal, and that's asking the thoughts to move, because her thoughts are obviously completely connected with her physical body. I think of it in thought. The body comes after the thought. So that's one, and that's what we've been doing. Another is direction of thought. Direction of thought is more side to side. It's physically speaking, it's really comes from the shoulders. It's asking the shoulder to move laterally. But it really became clear to me in my bridalist journey that where the horse's head went had little to do with where the horse's body was going to go. But if I could guide where the shoulders went, then surely the horse was going to go that way. And one of my earlier Mustangs back in 2012, I had the dream of doing a bridleless and bareback freestyle with him. It was one of those 100-day extreme Mustang makeovers. And of course, myself, along with so many others, had seen Stacy Westfall's amazing bridleless bareback reining freestyle. And I thought, oh, if I could do something bridleless and bareback with a 100-day wild Mustang, oh, that would be so incredible. And the perfect Mustang came along to help that dream come true. His name's Silver Lining. He's now one of our elders here at the sanctuary. And but he was the one that really taught me the importance of shoulders, and how where the horse's shoulders go really does determine where their body's going to go. Where their body goes is determined by where their thoughts go. So shoulders are a big one. The third one is what I call catching the thought, and that's more like your backup, and that's going to come way later. That's pretty advanced. The most elementary is just being able to ask the thoughts to move somewhere. Just ask those roots to come up out of the ground. The next step is directing the thoughts. It's more your shoulders. And she's actually, notice how she's in a position to kind of let her thoughts go. Her thoughts are already going to the right. So I'm actually I'm gonna take advantage of that. I'm gonna use that to our advantage. And I'm gonna just ask the roots to come up again. But I'm gonna ask that shoulder. Okay, so of course, she feels a little bit of roots. Oh, this is where it gets tough. Okay. So she felt me ask for her roots to come up, and because I've been drawing away to say yes, and she's naturally been drawing in, she's taking that to be a draw, which is bringing her into me, and she's very soft, and she's very comfortable with this, and it's so very tempting to just reach out and start at first touches. And I would love to do that. And if this was at a different place in my life, and especially if she was the first Mustang I had this opportunity to develop a relationship with, I'd be all over it. But I need a lot more communication here before we can do first touches. And one of the main things I need is being able to ask those shoulders to leave. So this is going to be one of those things where there may be some spaces where it looks like we're regressing a little bit, because obviously, like, she's licking and chewing, there was a little bit of pressure there, she's coming down from it, everything's wonderful, but I really need to be able to talk to those shoulders. So I'm going to go back to just asking for the thoughts to move. And this time I'm going to stay with her just a little bit, because I don't want her to draw into me yet. Nice. If she can come back down so quickly. So even though she's walking, I like this. She's still soft. Follow in at her tail here. And then I'm going to ask her just to maintain a little walk. Just softly guiding those roots to come up. Notice here she's there's a little bit of a question mark going on. She's like, okay. Right there. Okay. So now I'm going to draw away. So it's really important when we get to this stage that it's like one thing kind of can slide into the next thing, but now it's a different thing. So at first, as soon as I asked for those roots to come up, her energy to move, that very first time, I stepped away, I drew way away and really showed her that was right. Well, as we progressed with that, that turned into a draw really quickly because she's like a superstar. And that's great, but you could then see when I asked the shoulders to move, she felt me ask for that energy to come up, and she responded with, oh, I know what to do with this. I come to you. Okay, and I discussed how it's really important that I can ask her to move away from me before we have first touches, because I am not a wild Mustang mare, and I want to be safe, right? So then, this last time with that circle, what was really important to note was that I said yes when she was comfortable with me adding a little bit more pressure to her leaving. There was a moment when she was starting to think about drawing into me, and if I had been needing to build her confidence in that, I would have said yes to that. But I actually need to be working on the opposite thing. So I intentionally, when she asked to come in, I said, actually, I need you to go a little further. And when she sent that, when that shoulder moved out away, I said yes to that. And the way I'm saying yes is by stepping away, taking the pressure off. That was really amazing. Really amazing.